You've all known Kix for a various amount of time and have all had very different interactions with him. And I know that you will all be able to tell a story that will be completely different from one another. If it's all right with you, I'll start with you, Ace, and just have you share a memory that you hold dear about him.
The one that really stuck with me was from SI 2020. I heard some footsteps behind me and I looked round in the hotel corridor and Michael was catching up to me and he said, Tim, are you on your way out? I was going out for a walk. I wouldn't mind a bit of company. Do you mind if I join you? And we went and spent about an hour together walking round. And the thing was at the time and still now, I never really stopped seeing Michael through a fan's eyes, even though I was fortunate enough to spend time with him and work with him. And I don't mind admitting, I was texting my wife at the time and I was like, I'm out for a walk with KiXSTAr. This is, it's unbelievable to me. This is such a huge inspiration, and you know, his passion is something that I have always aspired to be able to deliver, because when I watched games that he casted, I felt like I was there. I felt like I was part of it, and it was just so special. It really was.
Yeah, it is funny how Ace just said it felt like looking at it through the eyes of a fan, because it is kind of weird, because I started watching Pro League, and Kix was one of those faces. He's always been there, and I really looked up to him. He was an inspiration to me to get to start casting as well, and then suddenly I'm casting with him. It was kind of like a dream come true casting with him as well.
Jess, I know that you had a particularly special relationship with Michael. I got to see it firsthand at a number of events, and I just figured that you're probably going to want to share some pretty touching moments with all of us.
Michael would dance like his arms were spaghetti, boiled spaghetti, and he would flail his body around as best he could. And that was probably one of my funniest memories of Michael, obviously in Sweden, when we were there for DreamHack. That was my very first LAN as a coach. And then after he had done that, or in between it, I can't remember, he danced a lot, mind you. He would sit with me and then he'd get into the nitty gritty of, getting personal and try to learn who I was and find out everything. And I mean, I think the best thing about Michael that I knew, especially when I got to sort of intimately know him throughout those events, was that he was unapologetically Michael.
The man became an incredible shining beacon in Siege and in esports, celebrated all around it. Like you said, award-winning caster, right, Parker? So it's incredible to see his growth, and I'm so proud to have been part of that, and all four of us together as our own family in Siege.
You're just overall a great guy. I've never actually had a conversation with Kix that I just didn't enjoy. You're just all around positive vibes, and he was so passionate about Siege and everything he did for the game. He was always asking for feedback on his R6TMs, on his stream and everything like that. So I think it's just really important to celebrate his life and just never forget what he actually did for this community, and he'll be cemented a forever legend, in my opinion.
I just kind of wanted to showcase the sharp mind that he had for the game. I just remember very particularly at Rally, we had one strat that we implemented. I guess there's two different of the same strat. But one, it was just a funny comment that I made to him where basically, I think we kept nading a specific player on bank, and they were running Doc, and I made a joke to Kix and basically saying oh man, it sucks that we can't secure these kills. Maybe we should ban Doc. And Kix, he was very serious at the time. I kind of brushed it off saying no, don't do that. And and then another time was we implemented this defense on a map, and Kix on the broadcast, I just remember him very distinguishably recognizing basically the intention behind the strategy and be able to showcase that to the fans, and it was just absolutely incredible, and I'm going to miss his mind, and I know the rest of the league will as well.
For me, and I'm sure for a lot of fans of Rainbow Six, you don't know Rainbow without Kix. He's always been around as a player, as a caster. I literally cannot remember Rainbow without him, and it just feels off, even playing here, knowing that he's not the one watching over us, yelling about the plays we're making. He's still with us in the community, and he always will be.
First memory I have of him, we were a top 10 team back when Kix was on the top 2 team. He was on Team Mythic's B team, and we were scrimming them. And afterwards, he asked if anyone wanted to play ranked, because everyone played ranked back then. So when we were playing, my brother and I were asking so what'd you think of us? How'd we do? And Kix was I'm gonna be honest, you guys sucked. And he's gonna say, and I was like, okay, like I wasn't expecting obviously someone to be that real. You know, I didn't really know Kix that well. And he started breaking down a lot of stuff that we were doing wrong. But the way he talked to me, and I'm a very competitive person, you guys all know that, it's really kind of what sparked my entire love for Rainbow Six Siege and like trying to be better than other people. I wanted to beat Kix bad after he like obviously called us bad. So I mean, like that's who he was, you know, and no matter what if you wanted to hear it or not, he would tell you what you should hear, you know, and I always respected him for that. We were competitors against each other for a while, and then when he got on the desk, I always got to spend hours talking to him, like between games or dream hacks. He would come behind when I'm behind the team, and he would talk with me, and I really appreciated those talks. We were really close, so I miss him. Love you, bud.
The stories that I heard of him when I was in Raleigh where, you know, there's a couple people in here in the scene that haven't said it yet, but some of them were not even pro players at the time or not even Challenger League players, and they had a ticket to the event but didn't have a plane ticket or a hotel room, and he opted to give them money, and he did give them money to get a hotel room or to get the airplane ticket. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it, he's a amazing dude, and like we're never gonna have someone like to replace someone like him. Like it's actually, it hurts to talk about him like at a young age where like he had this whole life to experience, and we're gonna fucking miss him. I'm sorry.
You know, I was close with Kix from the start. I actually wanted to share like a wholesome story, I guess. I remember like the first play test I ever went to. He, I guess, knew me because we competed against each other, and I was like one of the only other pros at the time. So he ended up coming up to me and he was like, yo, like, you know Intero, right? And like, you're friends with Intero. And I'm like, yeah, I'm friends with Intero. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to talk to the admins and the devs here, and like, I'm not going to cast unless they get Intero to cast with me. Kix in that moment, within like the first like 2 years of Siege, like was ready to just like quit pretty much unless they got Intero. And just the amount of dedication that he was in that room, in that meeting where he was standing up, screaming, saying like, you know, we need Intero, I need my best friend. The amount of like drive that he had and the amount of effort he put into everything, you wanted to follow him. So like, you know, as soon as he told me that, I was completely on board. He was just such an amazing person at like pulling the community together. I don't think we're okay, but at the end of the day, you know, as a community, we've come together to support and remember Kix. Rest in peace, and thank you for everything you did for us.
He might have been my partner, but to all of you, he was a friend and a colleague, and to the people who watched, he was an irreplaceable part of our community. So, not just to the NAL, but to Michael.
To Michael.
To Michael.
Cheers, boys.